enjoy the show. Play on Perjangers.
Welcome back.
Hello, everybody.
It's been way too long. We're going to go a different route today.
Yeah.
So we were talking before we started the show about women and what kind of role they have in society. So back in the 60s, 70s, and a little bit in the 80s, women were looked at as you're going to have children, and that is the only thing that you're going to do. You're going to have babies. You're going to not go to college. You're not going to work. You're not going to, you're going to take care of your husband. But I wanted to ask you, you're in a relationship.
Right.
Do you and Tom set boundaries for how you are portrayed, how he portrays you, how he thinks you should act? Like, does Tom ever have that, like, proper, prim and proper, like, this is what you should do, this is how you should act? So
no,
you are...
He's very much, like, in the camp of, like, do whatever you want to do. Okay. Like, he's never been the type of guy who's like, oh, well, you can't wear that out. Like, I am my own person.
Right.
And he understands that, and I'm going to wear what I want.
I was told to wear whatever I want. Just don't run down the street naked. Don't let the police be called. Yeah, that's pretty much how you have to do. Now, I do work that's a little bit male-dominated. I do...
A new guest has arrived.
So we have a new mascot in the Perjangers family.
Hi,
his name is Romeo. He's been introduced on Lugnuts yesterday, or the day before, I think it was. Today he decided not to wait and to have other people. That's fine. He can stay there. Let him be a guest until he gets too rowdy, and then kick him off. But you're going to make me edit really well. So here's where I'm getting at. So I encountered a situation today. Mm-hmm. We were not going to throw anybody under the bus. We were just going to say it's a store. I was a female, obviously, calling and seeing if they needed services for their business.
Right.
That is more of a male-dominated than a female-dominated world. I got yelled at. My reaction was horrible. I could have handled it better. Thank God for understanding people in the household, because I handled it with a little bit of flashback from my previous issues that I had with an abusive relationship. And it is like a trigger. It will come back. To have a grown man yell at you on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because then all of a sudden I'm in fight or flight. Like, oh, really? You're going to yell at me. I'm just trying to do my job.
Right, I'm trying to help you, and you're going to turn around and just be an asshole for what?
Exactly. And so there are a lot of businesses with men who don't want me to help them because I'm a female. What do I know? What do I know about picture books? What do I know about things like that? You never know until you ask.
Yeah.
I even name dropped 2 comic book heroes that I know of.
Right.
And still didn't matter, because either they heard things or I was about the business, which the business is amazing. The business is doing great things. But listen to the whole pitch before you decide.
Right, before you just jump to, oh, you're a woman, you don't know anything about this. You wouldn't. Exactly.
So growing up, like I worked for Acme, my most recent job. And a smoke shop, but I worked for a store like that, and neither places. I'll never forget, in that store, that shop, not Acme. I had one guy come in and go, "Where is this? That you probably don't know what it is. You're a girl." Well, A, I'm a woman,
first of all,
and B, you're right. I had no idea where it was, but that's fine. The assumptions that are made. So you see women who work in car dealerships, women who work in construction companies. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it is so hard for men to understand. Women might know a little bit more or just as much as I do.
Just because it's a male-dominated field doesn't mean that women aren't still involved. Doesn't mean that they're not still interested in that thing and have learned a lot about it. Like, I don't understand where this, like, superiority comes from. Like, what is that?
And it's the same types of men who will turn around and hit on the first person.
Oh, absolutely.
The first person. Because I'm telling you.
They're the men that are catcalling you in the Target fucking parking lot.
Ooh, personal experience?
Oh, I've had a few of those. I had one day, I had gone, I lived very close to a Family Dollar, and they were also next to a Wawa. So I was walking, I was just, like, getting some errands done, you know. I went into Wawa first, and I was then followed out by a group of men, a large group of men. I was by myself, by the way. I met my friend at the Family Dollar, and we were just, like, shopping around and stuff. We had a man following us around in the Family Dollar almost the entire time we were there, like, trying to be, like, inconspicuous about it, but still definitely following us.
Do you know what they call that? Trafficking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, okay, so this is where it gets interesting, because he kept trying to, like, talk to us and say stuff to us, and we made it pretty clear that we weren't interested in whatever the fuck he was selling.
Right.
And we walked out of there. He followed us out of the store, watched us get in our car, got into his car, and then, like, followed us out of the fucking parking lot. She was making turn after turn trying to confuse this man so that he didn't follow us back to her fucking house.
Yeah, so the other day, I think it was Saturday, I was wearing a skirt similar to the one you're wearing, and I was walking the dog. And outside of where I was walking the dog, I get whistled at and asked if I like to get swung around by my hair. Ow. Like that. No,
yeah, that's
that
first of all, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't do that. We don't do
right.
that. Like, and it was uncomfortable because his friends were laughing who were with him. And I could have screamed. Like, I tell everybody, if you're ever out somewhere and you think you're being followed by somebody, just yell for mom. Every woman should turn around like you're calling for them.
Yeah. I read a story that happened in our area recently. It was a young girl, maybe like 16, 17 in Ridley. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
That town, a couple towns over.
She was being followed by this man, and you know, he kept asking her, like, where she lived and, like, what her name was. Yep. And she ended up, like, approaching this woman who she'd never met before, who was, like, running one of the shops. And she's like, oh, Aunt so-and-so, like, it's so good to see you. And the woman took her into the store and locked the doors. And this man proceeded to bang on the door, demanding that she come out, until her mother got there to pick her up. But thank fucking God for this woman seeing and recognizing the danger she was in and helping, because bystander syndrome is real.
Yeah.
People will just ignore things happening right in front of them because, oh, somebody else will handle it. Somebody else will help them. No, they won't. You need to step up. You need to step up and help people who look like they need it.
So we've kind of diverted and taken a very much needed diversion, because I think that goes hand in hand. I have very big trust issues. And if you're going to yell at me on the phone because I'm doing my job of trying to give you help for your business.
Right.
This kind of bookstores are they're struggling. It was my intention to help them. But you're going to yell at me?
It's so funny that it's like a comic book. It's like, you know, we're talking about a comic book store, and I just wore this shirt out of, like, chance today. Captain America, best superhero, hands down. I will go to bat for him any day of the week. We've also been watching X-Men 97 recently. I finished the animated series, so that's like a whole other thing, though.
That's a whole other podcast. But no, I totally understand. Like, it's until I got in connection with people, I didn't know. I knew about comic books. I loved any comic book,
right?
But I didn't really know about them until I was educated on them. Just because I'm a girl doesn't mean that it's any less.
I was collecting comic books since I was like 12. Like, I've always been into, like, you know, Marvel and DC stuff. Like, growing up, my dad was a huge Superman guy. So I knew everything about Superman by the time I was 8 years old. Like, he's got tattoos of, like, he's got our names, like, tattooed on his arm with this, the Superman S and stuff. And Superman was always my favorite DC character, which, a little bit off topic, but can't fucking wait for that new movie. It looks fantastic. But, like, then getting into, like, the Marvel and DC and actually trying to collect comic books, I was very quickly discouraged from that.
Right.
Because it was daunting going into a shop with, like, a single man behind the counter who doesn't want to answer any questions, and he doesn't want to show you where the stuff you're looking for is, because why would you be interested in that? You're a girl.
So it's so funny. I got a story for you. Speaking of comic book shops, and I don't think anybody I don't think the person that I'm trying to single out is going to be watching our podcast, unfortunately. But we were up in York, and there was a comic book shop that we were working with to sell a book. And I'm telling you, every single time we walked in that comic book shop, it was empty. Did anybody come over and ask me if I needed help? Absolutely not.
No, they never do.
I run into that problem with, so I've been into, like, an AutoZone. They're very nice. Like, they want to help because they don't think that I know how to, and I don't know anything about my car. I needed help with windshield wipers. And I was like, I feel ridiculous. Can you put these on for me? And he was like, absolutely. I'd much rather you do that than fuck it up.
See, the other thing that I noticed too is, like, there are women that do know about cars that work in that industry and stuff and are still questioned. And then, like, say you're a woman who doesn't know about cars and you go to have your car fixed. A lot of the times they'll try to upcharge you on purpose because they know you're a woman and they just assume that you don't know what you're there for.
Right.
So they'll try to sell you more expensive parts and they'll upcharge parts that should be cheaper. And they'll tell you, like, oh, well, this is wrong with your car when it's not, so that they can sell you more stuff.
Yeah. Now, I will also tell you, it's not just people who own stores, work in the industry, or any of that. It's also people that you know. So I had a situation with somebody who wanted to claim or say they were going to help me with something with my music and told me that I owed them a lot of money if I wanted their help. Well, here's the thing. I don't. And
I really don't.
I really don't owe you anything. And that's the other thing as women, I really hope that we get used to saying to certain men, and I hate to single out men like this, but it is the honest truth. You don't owe them anything.
No, you don't. And they expect you to think that you owe them something.
Right.
Right? Like, there is a large sect of men out there who are still very much in this, like, masculinity equals, like, degrading women mindset, where it's like a woman is, cooking for you and cleaning for you and raising your children and stuff, and maybe you're giving her some kind of allowance, which is how it was done in the, the 50s and 60s to circle back.
Well, not even 50s and 60s.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying, like, more so.
My ex-husband was giving me an allowance every month, and it was $40.
But then they'll hold that over your head is the thing. Like, you are doing all of this work for them so that they can come home to a clean house, to a well-cooked dinner, so you're not ordering out every night. And they'll give you this money, and then they will lord it over you the entire time you are with them.
Right. Now, I don't know if... I'm going to be editing this out. I can tell I'm stuck on a brain fog. It is absolutely awful that we have to have this conversation when it comes to certain men. I know men in my inner circle right now who are some of the most amazing.
And there are some really incredible men out there.
Oh my God. The owner of the production company that we get to have our podcast on, my favorite person in the world.
My boyfriend, an absolutely incredible man who would never, ever think about telling me what I can and cannot do.
Exactly. Now, it's so funny because I always ask, wonder if I can do this. Can I do that? I'm wondering if it's okay if I do that. And honestly, what's been beating my head for the last however many, almost a year, is that you don't have to ask questions.
Yeah.
Like, don't ask. Just do
it.
And it's so funny because you almost have imposter syndrome. Because you're like, should I? Could I? Am I that person who can honestly just go and do whatever I want? Now, here's the other thing, too. I'm also a very respectful person.
Yes.
I just don't go out and do whatever the hell I want.
I am
Give
as well.
me the option and tell me that I can do whatever.
Right. Like I vape, but like if I get into somebody else's car, I always ask, can I vape in here before I take a single hit? Because it's just rude not to. Like if you're in somebody's house, considerate, yeah. Right, like if you're in somebody's house and they have children, maybe they don't want you vaping because like or smoking a cigarette for that matter. Like I know that's like a completely different ballpark because like obviously vapes create less of like the stale smoke smell. But it's still there. Like you can smell a vape as much as you guys might want to think like, oh, it's fruity. It just smells fruity.
Oh,
no, it has a very distinct scent.
And I'm immune to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nose blind to it by now.
Yeah. But yeah, so I definitely want women to understand, and even men, you don't have to be told what to do, because you know there are some men who will play a pity card when it comes to this hurt me, that hurt me, but then there are men who just deal with it the same way you would be asked to deal with it, or I would be asked to deal with it. Now, dealing with it together, like you and Tom go and deal with it together. There's a togetherness. There's a team. You guys are a team.
Yes.
But going back to being degraded, it's not just men.
Oh, no. Don't even give me. Yeah.
So here's the thing. When I had my daughter, it was great. I was in the hospital, and a nurse comes up to me and goes, "You're being way too loud." She got an ice bucket to the head. Now, it's fine. She was fine. We blamed it on my contractions.
Right.
But why are you're a woman. You should know better.
I'm literally in so much pain right now. What do you mean I'm being too fucking loud? Get out of my room.
She's like, there's a woman next door that you might upset her because blah, 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 blah. And I was like, that is not my problem.
Right. Like, I'm not in searing pain right now.
I'm not in the Four Seasons having a child.
This is a hospital.
Yeah, this isn't the
This is the maternity wing of a hospital.
Yeah.
You should know what to expect here.
Now, rest in peace. That hospital is now gone. It was Delaware County Memorial Hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's now going to be part of Upper Darby High School.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Yeah, they're going to convert it into classrooms.
Okay.
Because they don't have enough room.
Well, that's okay. Prospect Medical kind of fucked the entire county when they closed Crozier. So.
I hope there's somebody from Prospect Medical watching.
Yeah, me too. Fuck you guys.
Now, to all the nurses, doctors, and staff.
You
guys are amazing.
You guys are great.
Yeah, and I heard a lot of them went back to work.
Yeah.
Great. They weren't out of work for long.
Yeah, I have a friend who did work she was a nurse over at Crozier, and she ended up moving to a different facility. And
Which is amazing.
Really happy that she managed to find something, because I know it's probably not easy in the area right now because huge hospital closure.
Would you want to hear the worst part, though? They did a study, and I will back this study up because I'll include it in the credits. They did do a study. 75% of the people who found jobs within 2 weeks of Crozier closing, they were men.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
More women were out of work after that than men. So that brings me to the whole other thing of you are taking these women, 25 or the rest of them, 75% of them were men. They got jobs, but what happened to the rest? But yeah, no, I mean, today's episode, seriously, something takes me off, and I wanted to tell everybody in Delco.
Don't worry, we're both in like kind of like shitty-ish moods today. So
I'm getting out of mine.
Yeah, so I'm starting to get better.
Doing a podcast,
yeah, it
really
helps.
Does help.
It does.
And I really want anybody out there who wants to reach out to us on pjandwh@gmail.com or our Facebook. If you guys want to be on the show, you guys got something to say, I would love to have
let
you
us know.
on in the show. Whether you're a nurse, a doctor, man, woman, anything. We are absolutely open to everybody. You got a story to tell, you got something to say, you have a opposition even. Like if you're opposed to something we're saying, I'll take it all.
Yeah, so, I mean, like you don't get anywhere from believing you're right.
There you go.
You always ask questions.
Well, that's the thing. I will ask questions.
Keep an open mind.
In the face because I want to learn.
Absolutely,
I want somebody to tell me something.
You need to keep an open mind and don't ever be one of those people who's like, well, this is what I think, and that's fact. That's law.
Yeah.
Because it's not. Because things are changing all the time.
Yes.
And you might not have information that could change your mind.
Yes.
And even if you're arguing with somebody and you know you're not going to change your mind, but you're still arguing loud enough for the kids to hear, that's a good thing. Because then they get to hear both sides, and they get to form their own opinions as they grow.
Yes. I believe that to a point. I do believe sometimes it's just better
Right. I mean, like,
unsaid, but
obviously, like, there's something to be said for, like, actual spousal arguments in front of children and that kind of thing. But I mean, like, things that are, like, happening in the world.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Rather,
I was going to say, too, like, even if you're not spouses, you could be ex-spouses.
Right.
Keep the kids the hell out of it.
Like, even if you're arguing with somebody on Facebook.com, say it loud enough for the kids in the back, because what you say could change their mind. Because, you know, a lot of the times when you're growing up, you have such an open mind. You are able to be molded and changed, and, like, things still have incredibly profound impact on you.
Yeah. So just, I mean, man or woman, if you feel like you're being talked down to, don't get like I did. Don't let your ego get the best of you. Just say, you know what? Opinions of sheep. Don't remember the full saying, even though I was just told it 10 minutes ago. But it's there. It's there. You guys know it. But it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. You are human just like everybody else. Nobody deserves to be talked down to. It doesn't have to be just in a professional setting. It could be in your family. But just realize that you have a table that's small enough to fit the people that matter the most.
Exactly.
And on that note, we have great things coming up for Lugnuts.
Yeah.
The Lugnuts podcast is got a few things under wrap for, you know, what we're coming out with, but they've got some adventures they're going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I am very excited for the Lugnuts, guys.
Matthew finally has a balloon guitar. He won't shut up about it.
Yes, he does have a balloon guitar, and I was very happy to see it for the first time come to light on the Lugnuts episode that was just released, and including the new mascot, who is asleep at your feet right now.
He sure is.
Keeping the feet warm. And what did he say?
He just showed me a one that's not blown up yet, and said I got another one too.
Got another air guitar in case he needs it. There you go, right there, in case the other one pops. Because Romeo loves the air guitar.
I bet he does.
Yeah, right. Silly Little Podcast should be coming out with another podcast soon. I love that podcast when the name was just thought up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Silly Little Podcast.
Check out the Abandoned TARDIS podcast
and the Abandoned
with
TARDIS.
me and Matt. We're talking finale episode this time, baby.
And then anything else that's coming about, I've got some music I'm going to release on Facebook. So, you know.
Yeah, definitely check that out, guys.
So I think that is about it for today. I got to rant and rave, and now I feel 1,000 times better. I feel a lot better. It's amazing what a podcast can do for your soul.
Queen of the world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Stick me on top of the Empire State Building.
Let's go.
There. No, sorry, Romeo. That was just a saying. But,
he said no.
But because he'd have to follow me there.
He doesn't like heights.
No, he doesn't. Very afraid. I try to pick him up. It doesn't go well. So, on that note, we're going to end this podcast here. Let's try to do another one soon.
Yeah.
Probably very soon.
Definitely, we ought to be more consistent.
We will not
meaning
let you guys,
I have to be more consistent, personally.
We will not let you guys down.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. And until next time, Delco, the ranting and raving is done for today.
We love you guys.
We love you.
Bye.